But before that, I would like to just share that there are small sweets on your table, which we have bought from Nepal. So you can enjoy the discussion as well as the sweets placed on your table. With that, I would like to call upon our moderator for plenary session, Ms. Sudha Shrestha. Ms. Shrestha is National Professional Officer at UN Habitat with expertise in sanitation. She has played a pivotal role in shaping Nepal's sanitation policy and initiatives, and we are fortunate to have her guide us through today's panel discussion. So can we have the chairs placed as well?
Anyways, while waiting for the chairs to be seated, I would like to introduce our panelist, esteemed panelist, discussing on this inclusive public toilets as well. You have seen the scenario of Nepal, and I think it is not the better or worse story than Nepal in South Asia, Asian countries as well. So in this context, our today's discussion will be focused on inclusive public toilets and what will be the elements and features and the financing models that we can bring inclusive public toilet into the sustainable service to all the people around the time and for all. So without ado, I would like to call upon panelists and the chair of this panel, Ms. Manjali Shakya Bajracharya, Deputy Mayor of Lalitpur Metropolitan City. And she is also the central member of Land Commission, Industrial Enterprise Development Institute board member, and involved in social sector, as well as handicraft, and of course the political drive for the people. And she is a lead campaigner of this inclusive public toilet in Lalitpur Metropolis. So applaud to her and request for her chair to be in this panel. And secondly, I would like to request Mr. John Knight. He had been with WaterAid since 2018 as a regional technical advisor for South Asia, supporting projects and teams in Bangladesh, Nepal, Pakistan, and until 2022, please come upon the dais, to Myanmar. Projects cover a broad range of areas such as urban piped water supply systems, monitoring and mapping, rural water supply, water resources, water quality, and treatment, fecal sludge management, wash in schools and healthcare facilities, hygiene behavior change, and wash systems strengthening, as well as his key responsibilities include providing technical support, capacity building, research, knowledge management, and learning, and the development technical guidelines as well. So prior to WaterAid, John had been engaged in the humanitarian organization for 10 years, managing emergencies in wash responses in Ukraine, Myanmar, Nepal, Iraq, Sudan, South Sudan, and Uganda. And he has a degree in civil engineering and master's in energy conservation and environment. Welcome, John, to the panel. So we have the very enriched resource captured in John as well. And then I would also like to request Mr. Mohammad Junaid. He is a country director, WaterAid Pakistan. He brings us the wealth of experience, having most recently served as a country director for BBC Media Action in Jakarta, Indonesia, which with over 17 years of extensive experience in the development of sector. He possesses a diverse background on spanning humanitarian recovery and development initiative. His expertise encompasses program design, delivery, advocacy, and resource mobilization for large-scale multi-country humanitarian and development projects. And he is particularly adept at civil society building, bridging relief and development efforts, and ensuring accountability in responses. His strategic planning skills and commitment to excellence make him a valuable addition to our team. So he holds the civil engineering degree and previously served in significant role such as head of mission for Turkey and Syria at Polish Humanitarian Action, and also the head of basic services unit at UN Habitat Pakistan as well. Welcome, Mr. Junaid. And then big applause for him. And I would like to request Farhana, Rashid on the dais as well, from co-founder of Bhumijo, and that provides extra, that provides hygiene, inclusive and affordable smart toilet in low-income areas with extra services such as showers, clean drinking water, laundry, refreshments, and advertisement space, either building new toilets or renovating and managing existing facilities. These services are available through the subscription or pay-per-use models as well. Applaud to her. So now I would like to request Mr. Purna Mohanty, Program Coordinator, WaterAid India as well, upon the dais. Big applaud to him. And also I would like to request Mr. Sudarshan Neupane, Country Director, Nepal, on the dais. So big applaud to the enriched panelists that are seated here. So within this 30 minutes of our discussion, we hope that we will have a great length of discussion and turning points that we can take back home. Yeah, thank you. So without any ado, I would like to request for answering certain specific questions that can give us the insight into this whole public toilet conversation, inclusive public toilet conversation. So firstly, I would like to request Mr. Mohammad Junaid if he can highlight on how we can define the salient or the key features of inclusive public toilets that can cater the need of wide range of different people and different category of people. And do you think that artificial intelligence, AI, can assist or aid us in building these features to the larger extent, and also enhancing our operation and maintenance for sustained safe services across the service chain of sanitation services? Over to you, Mr. Junaid.
Thank you. Am I audible? Yes, I am. Thank you indeed, a very diverse panel. So before going into the details of resilient and inclusive public toilets, I would like to talk a little bit about the context that we are operating. So I represent WaterAid in Pakistan. I'll talk a little bit about the context. A country which is with a population more than 240 million still have almost more than 20 million people who don't have access to clean drinking water. We also have more than 69 million people who don't have decent toilets in their houses as well. Of course, the major contributing factor to that is poverty also, but then also behaviors. At the same time, even though the greenhouse gas emission of the country is less than 1%, we are the 8th most vulnerable country in the world when it comes to climate change impacts. When we say climate change impacts, we are talking about floods, we are talking about droughts, we are talking about cyclones, we are talking about seawater intrusion also. So the impact of climate change is very adverse and then also not very uniform when it comes to looking at different segments of the society as well. We have very vulnerable communities, marginalized communities. Within these communities, then we have women, we have girls, we have people with disabilities, we have transgenders as well. So making sure that whatever we plan and we execute, making sure that it is inclusive, adhere to the cultural context, adhere to the country standards, and then also they are sustainable and replicable also. We have to be very careful the kind of projects that we execute also. When it comes to inclusive, resilient toilets, we have done some work on public toilets in Pakistan. We have worked with different utilities as well as different municipalities when it comes to public toilets. The basic issue and some of the things that were highlighted in Seema's presentation also is you can implement very beautiful projects, but if you are unable to operate and maintain it, if you are unable to sort of keep it up and somebody is not looking after that, if it's not inclusive, then of course its long-term sustainability will not be ensured as well. So I'll give you an example. In Islamabad, we worked with Capital Development Authority, which is basically a municipal service provider. So we worked on public toilet. We created model. We linked it with their pipe networks. We also created a mechanism where the sanitation workers were managing and operating those models. But then we told them that these are the models. And we did a lot of influencing policy advocacy work with them also. And they replicated the same models across Islamabad and in different cities as well. The same kind of work we are doing in institutionals, like schools, also in education facilities, and then also in healthcare facilities as well. We are creating those models, but then we are advocating with the ministries and with the education department, with the health departments, that these are the models which needs to be replicated and sustained as well. So we are making sure that they are inclusive, they are climate resilient, they are basically incorporating the indigenous knowledge also, and making sure that they don't create any negative climate impacts also, and less impact on freshwater bodies also. In communities, we have done a lot of work in rural communities because Pakistan, as I said, is vulnerable to floods as well. So Pakistan, be it 2010 floods, be it 2022 floods, be it 2024 floods, almost more than 30 million people are affected on a cycle basis, like when these climate impacts happen. So what we are doing, that when we are working in the communities as well, we are coming up with communal latrine or the household latrines. We are making sure that we incorporate into the details the climate change impacts. We cater into the indigenous knowledge. We are making sure that latrines are made raised, the septic tanks are lined up, they don't contaminate water underground as well, because in some of the areas which are flood affected, also they have shallow water resources as well. So we don't want to do no harm. We don't want to create models which can have longer term impact, adverse impact on the drinking water also. And then making sure that they are inclusive also, so that women, children, female, they can use the washrooms with dignity also. So whenever we come up with the communal latrines, we make sure that there are separate blocks for female and men also. We are making sure that we cater into the local knowledge. We use materials which are locally available also. When we work in the community, demand is created, but if the material is not available as well, that will not be replicable as well. So we are making sure that that is adhered. In areas where we have frequent rains, flooding is happening as well, the pipe network is damaged as well, we are making sure that we are introducing rainwater harvesting also, where we are making sure that the focus on or the use of fresh water is made less also.
Thank you.
So yeah,
Mohammed
thank you for
Junaid.
that. Thank you.
And since Mr. Mohammed Junaid touched upon the climate resilient and also inclusive toilet amenities, I would like to go upon Mr. Purna Mohanty, whether this climate resilient sanitation and inclusive toilets can AI aid to maintain or design or support those amenities with long-term sustained operation and maintenance amenities as well.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Already Junaid had made some points ki how this inclusiveness and the other factors came into climatic factors, other factors came into the public toilet services that we have. I will not repeat those things. Means whenever in India, whenever we are practicing this construction of public toilet or promoting the public toilet, we are seeing that still we'll have to look into the cleanliness. Cleanliness is a factor that always we should have to consider whenever we are considering the public toilet. And again, the need of the services, that it can be accessible by everybody, means we'll have to look into that, it can be accessible by everybody. So looking into all these features, AI is the knowledge that we are now building up, means we are not that much up to a level that we can say ki we have already succeeded with AI features, including in those features, those things. We are still experimenting on that. And what we are doing, but beside that, we are also trying to do innovations. And whenever I'm telling we are doing innovations, we are learning from the experiences that we are doing. And again, we are learning from those. Again, we are putting the things. Again, we are learning. Again, we are putting the things. I think it has not ended right now. Means if I will tell, making the toilet accessible, making the toilet with a feature of dignity and security. Means if we are only separating the toilet from women to men, if we are only making provision for children and other things, it is not all that we are doing. We should have to look into how whenever the women are accessing to a toilet facility, how they can access that with a dignified manner, how it can be security on a security level, how it can be placed. So all these things need to be addressed in the public toilet, and whenever we are looking into those, means we have a diversity geoclimatic condition in existing in all our areas in South Asia region. We have hilly region, we have flood prone region, we have plain region. So are we considering those things while we are considering the toilet construction in our area? If the toilet constructed on a hilly region or a slopey region, are we only considering the accessibility part, or only we are also considering the fecal sludge management, means the substructure that we are building on?
Thank you, Mr. Purna, Mohanty, because of the time constraint.
There are many things. I just will conclude. We are now featuring on how we can make a face value reading and a sensory based system. There are AI based system, and still we are learning from the process. Thank you.
Yes, AI is always a learning process, and we can maximize those amenities. So before going to sanitation financing, I would like to request Ms. Farhana for how this private sector can engagement in the inclusive toilet possible with the equal footing with the sector, not only as a corporate social responsibility, but with the equal footing, not only in investing, but all, operating and managing and sustaining those inclusive toilet as a public toilet as well. And can this engagement be possible to bring affordable service to all the time, even to the non-affordable segment of the society? Over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I'm very hopeful, and I'm very happy to see a lot of faces and a lot of people are joining this important discussion here. And even we are having a toilet conference here in Bangladesh. I mean, when Simaji was having the presentation, I can relate so many things. Like, it's our story. It's not Nepal's story. It's just like Bangladesh, or it's just like Dhaka, or a crowded city, and the broken lock to the commode, or not having a proper system for menstrual hygiene management. So why it's that, and why we are all are talking about it? So it's, when we talk about the investment, we want to invest something that will bring you immediate profit in terms of business. But if you see it as a toilet business, so it won't bring the immediate profit. Or if you can invest in a tech company, maybe you could be a billionaire within 10 years. You could be something like Meta, you could be something like Google. But for toilet, where is that? Is it the money? Or is it the impact? Or if it's the impact, is it really good for my business, or for my bank, for my balance, and what is it? So we need to go back to the very basic question, how we are telling the story, how we talk about the investment. It's only the monetary benefit, or some other social benefit, some health benefit. So what we did, we did as a woman, being a woman, I have always do the smartest thing, not to having enough water while I'm outside. So I don't have to go to restroom while I'm outside. But is it the good thing? Is it really the smartest thing? Is it really the healthy way to live on? No. Now, let me talk about the infrastructure. I am having a civil engineer and some other expert here. If we look into the cost for building the Paris SFT, like if it's 2,000 taka for SFT, I mean, I'm talking about the Bangladeshi reference. For building a toilet, it's 4,000 taka per SFT or 6,000 taka depending on the fixture you will use it there. So who will pay for this? So we need to bring on all those questions and what is the benefit and who will pay for it. But if you build in a right location with right design, you can make the toilet operation sustainable. And for making it sustainable, business had a lot of things to do.
Yeah, thank you, Farhan, for this. And since she touched upon this financing models as well, I would like to request John if you can highlight on the innovative financing model for investing as well as operating and providing services in a sustained manner, not only like while it is properly installed, then the service is given, but since after the due time, then the service is lost. So in that manner, how we can have addressing all the time, everywhere, and for all system that will be installed in the financing model as well. And the second question for you will be like how we can engage government into investing in this, and how can we strategize or encourage government investing in this? Over to you, John.
Thank you very much for the question. Yeah, I want to start with the second one first, actually, I think. You know, how can we convince or motivate local governments, city corporations, municipalities to invest in public toilets? Because historically, you know, we've used the public health imperative, dignity, human right to water and sanitation, and all of those are, you know, very valid and sound arguments. But, you know, for a politician, for a local government, perhaps emphasizing the impact it can have on productivity, on economic development, potentially winning votes with these initiatives that may have a lot more impact and be a more convincing argument. So, I mean, that data does exist, but it may not be contextualized to that context, and it may not be presented in a way which is easily accessible or convincing to a mayor or a local government council. So I feel that sometimes in the wash sector, we, you know, as quite a few of us here from NGOs, we often write material that's kind of targeted at the development sector. But are we writing and preparing this in a way that's convincing to city corporations and municipalities? And I think when we're talking around financing as well, I see that part of the challenge is local governments, you know, deciding to invest in public toilets. But we also know in big cities, particularly in places like Dhaka, that finding the land is a big problem as well. And that's why, you know, that needs to be part of the argument. Why should land be allocated to this when land is a real premium in crowded cities? So that was the kind of the second question. And then in terms of building a sustainable model, there's a few aspects I wanted to highlight. One sort of unusual feature of building public toilets is that we don't know in advance how many people are going to be using them. So when we design for a school toilet, you know, we know how many people that is for and how many users there will be. So for public toilets, there's a real need in advance for some good market research. How many people are you expecting to use it? And what is an appropriate tariff for people to pay? And again, there's different kinds of users of public toilets, which we need to bear in mind as well. There are people that are using them every day because they live or work near that public toilet. But there's people that are just passing through, commuters, people traveling through the city, who they only use it once, and so they're perhaps willing to pay more money. but yeah, setting tariffs that are affordable for people, but also then looking at the other side in terms of how much is it going to cost. I'm sure many of you are also familiar, like we've talked a lot about life cycle costing, but bringing that into the calculations so that we have a realistic figure of what it's going to cost to operate and maintain in the long term. And another thought on that was, well, there may be some economies of scale if a single organization can actually manage 20, 30, 40 public toilets, reduce management costs, and also if one public toilet is very busy and has a lot of users, has a high income, then that can perhaps help cross-subsidize some of the others which are less used. And the last point on that, I will finish here, but just to, I think looking at who is best placed to run the public toilet, is it the city corporation? Should it be a private operator? Should it be a social enterprise? And if it is a private operator, what's the role of the local government still in terms of regulation and monitoring of that operator? So I think there's a lot of opportunities, but also perhaps the nature of public toilets, we need to approach it slightly differently. Thank you.
Thank you, John. So we heard from 4 esteemed panelists on this, and due to the time limitation from this little corner of Nepal, I would like to if you have 2 questions for the panelists. And be precise on questioning. Only 2 questions. One and the second one? Okay, 2 questions.
I don't have a particular question, but I've got a solution for John's problem.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so every society is unique, so you need to think locally, but with wisdom. Don't focus on academic intellect. So for a city like Dhaka, there is already enough toilets. You don't need to build a single one. So there is no place in Dhaka city, whether within 500 meters, there is not a mosque or a school.
Request you to be precise on your...
So using existing toilets, but bringing them under a coordinated system will solve all your problems. But for that, you need cultural evolution. Nothing new needs to be done.
Thank you. So that means we need to contextualize our priorities and need, as well as contextualize the business plan and business models as well. Yes, sir.
My name is Divalok. I work for BSK in Bangladesh. My question to panel is, what is your, as the first presentation went, it was stressing on private sector engagement. So I was wondering, what is your panel's experience on private sector engagement in successfully managing public toilets across the region? Thank you.
Yeah. So anyone from panel or?
Yeah. So we are working with different organizations from different countries like India, Bangladesh, and some other region from South America, also Nepal. Arosan is also doing very good. So, there are different models, but still no one wants to be, very less people wants to be interested to invest in public toilet. Still, it's the NGOs thing. Even the impact investor, we have, as a private organization, we have been registered as private, but we were looking for funds. Even the impact investor, they also told us, we have worked on different models, like incorporating showers, incorporating small shops, incorporating laundry, incorporating advertisement to make the operation sustainable. But no one is interested. They're still showing your model is not investable. So we need to convince the impact investor and people, even with the less profit, maybe you can invest it for future, for your health, for public health, and for your children, maybe.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So, almost at the end of our session, but if panelists wants to add something more with 1 sentence per panelist, yeah, maybe Junaid. No, he will synthesize.
I have a different role. You go ahead.
One sentence, the key sentence that we can take away.
Well, I mean, in Pakistan, as I mentioned already, public toilets, we haven't invested a lot. Of course, we have worked a lot with the service providers, the utilities, and making sure that the models are replicable, inclusive, sustainable, and then there is a proper mechanism for that, so that, you know, it's long-lasting, sustainable as well. That has led to its success in making sure that they are replicated by those utilities. Yeah, thank you.
John?
I was just going to add the point as well that, I mean, public toilets are they're not only toilets. Often there's facilities for showers, for drinking water. We've heard about breastfeeding, we've heard about MHM. So I think, you know, they fulfill a multiple range of purposes. I think our role as development partners is to demonstrate successful models. But then, ultimately, the people that we need to convince are the city corporations, the municipalities, the local government, why they should invest in this, why they should prioritize it, why they need to allocate land for this. Thanks.
Thank you, John.
I will tell on the technology part. Whenever we are considering the technology in case of a public toilet, we should have to consider the geoclimatic region. If the technology appropriate to that geological or climatic condition, appropriately, is it fitting to that or not, that we should have to consider. Again, whenever we are considering any of the new system, AI system or any of the new system or existing toilet to be functional, we should have to be adherently look into the operation maintenance very perfectly, very prominently, and we should have to work on it. And so the people, community should have to own the process. Operation maintenance should have to own. It should be a community-driven process. Or unless it is a community-driven process, it won't be successful. AI model should be operated by the local people. Otherwise, we should not adopt any AI model or adopt any advanced model. Our existing technology can be survivable. We have enough knowledge on technology.
Thank you. Thank you, the esteemed panelists, for the insights and keeping the room awake after the lunch as well. So at the end, not towards the end, but I would like to request Mr. Sudarshan Neupane to synthesize today's discussion before the closing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Iveji, and the distinguished panelists here. I just wanted to, before I start, let the room know that we are quite humbled and privileged to have also the mayors from other municipalities. May I request all the mayors, please kindly stand up so that the rest of the members or participants can also identify. I request everybody, and also Jaykant sir, the chief administrative officers. This also shows, I guess that makes my life a lot easier in terms of what I'm trying to get, which is to say, first thing, seeing is believing. You see, like when Seemaji walked us through that journey of having, been part of that public toilet or talk toilet campaign, hashtag, and then, having worked with the deputy mayor who is also here, together with the mayors, the chief administrative officers, we've had a journey. And that journey has already begun, and I think it is high time for us also to build on that momentum. And in Nepal, we are quite well intended to expand it to other cities, not just limiting ourselves to Kathmandu, Lalitpur. As you also heard from Seemaji's presentation, that quite a few municipalities have themselves reached out to us wanting to do more. It's not only about financing. I agree with the gentleman there. I think in terms of collaborative spirit, interdepartmental coordination, that is key. That was very well highlighted and very well explained also by the panelists. In terms of the summaries, I'm not going to go per country. I don't think that will add any value anyway. I was just going to say that in terms of the climate resilience and the inclusivity piece, we just need to make sure that there is an interdepartmental thing. It cannot be only the responsibility of Ministry of Water Supply, or it cannot be only the Climate Change Ministry or the Ministry of Women, Children, Senior Citizens responsible for that. I think we need to make sure that there is a cross-departmental coordination and integration of some of those services with the health, from the education, from energy side, so that we have integrated and comprehensive services whenever we design that, number one. Number two, is some of the points that also we heard from India side was how do we make sure that we are learning from the experience well enough, and we are making sure that there is a component of dignity and security, so that it really builds on the local customaries, the context, and then it allows the different contexts to operate themselves, because we cannot copy paste anything, no matter what. Even within the same country, like some things that had worked in Dhaka will not work in Khulna versus Chittagong. I mean, it's the same in other countries as well. So we cannot expect one model to fit in all the settings when we talk about the public toilet. So we really need to make sure that we have the nuances of it. The other interesting bit that we talked today is also about the private sector engagement. We really need to talk and talk the elephant. We don't mean to say that make the elephant go out, but we really need to have that nuanced understanding of how can we get better at it, because without it we cannot walk the talk alone. And also we need private sector engagement. Some of the successes we've had in Nepal is only because of that partnership with the private sector that we are able to ensure operations and maintenance, which is a key thing for most of the public toilets anywhere in the world. So we really need to nail this out, and I think we need to do a lot better job in Bangladesh, but also in all the countries where we work. We must get better at it. John did highlight the engagement of the local municipality, and also looking at the productivity and the economic development, and how do we make sure that what is the benefit for the politicians actually. Because see, whether we like it or not, every 5 years there is going to be a new election of some sort, and then there has to be a degree of mayors walking the talk, holding themselves to account, and also citizens holding themselves to account to see, okay, what were our asks, whether or not our asks, particularly around sanitation and public toilets, have been heard or not. And I think there has to be a check and balance. And we really need to promote that culture of the public engagement into that sort of inclusive sanitation campaigns within each local unit, and the appropriateness of the local, the context, the culture, the gender, the climate resilience bit will always have to come into play. And I think only by having that engagement with all the different stakeholders in the room, maybe much more than the people who are present in the room today. Like the media has a huge role to play. The academia, we didn't talk much about it today, unfortunately, but definitely there is a role to play. The private sector, I've already spelled it out. So all the departments within the government, we all need to work hand in hand to make things a lot better. And there is a long way to go. I think with the Nepal's example, it shows to us the optimism, the hope, and if we are together and if we have the right set of leaderships, we have the commitment from the mayors and the chief administrative officers working together with the public sector, the private sector, we can actually demonstrate something, and we will be able to make a huge difference in the lives of millions of people. So I'll keep it to that, and thank you everyone for attentively listening to all of us, and looking forward to continuing the discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Sudarshan Neupane, for synthesizing the whole discussion and the views that we shared today. The program is still on. So before our chair closes the session, I would like to request for the Mentimeter to have all your views into this public toilet, inclusive public toilet as well. So, Shrestha? You need to scan this, I guess.
Don't scan us.
So you can scan the QR code, or either choose to write the number that is mentioned over there, which is 1-844-3945. You can go to mentimeter.com and then use the code that is mentioned. The number is 1-844-3945. So you can see the results being displayed, and we're sorry for this. Maybe not. So the question was, after listening to this panel discussion, what do you consider the crucial aspect of an inclusive public toilet? We had the options of financing, partnership, climate resilience, innovation, and all of the above. So we can see all of the above is something what everyone is choosing for, but then there is a lot of votes in financing and partnership as well. The second question is, what do you believe is the most important element in public toilet infrastructure? So we just suggest you to put in your thoughts. What would be the most effective and efficient thing to have a public toilet infrastructure? That's upon your knowledge and whatever you've heard during the panel discussion and also about from the presentation. So we are getting responses as partnership, sustainability, inclusive design, very important one, local contexts. It should be inclusive. A lot more popping up. Operation and maintenance. And political support as well, without which we cannot have this thing going on. Can we move on to the next one? And the final question was, what did you like the most valuable about the session? 2 responses up here, so it was very good. And diverse group reflection, very engaging. Inclusiveness. I think there are more that would be coming up. Bringing 4 countries, yeah. Multi-sectoral participation. We also saw about the public toilet conditions. So I think we're going to stop here and move on to the end of the session now.
Okay, thanks a lot for your views on these 3 questions, which will give us a roadmap how really we need to incorporate which elements for the inclusive public toilets as well. So, not the last and least, but I would like to request the chair of this session, Deputy Mayor Madam, to close this session with her views as a public toilet campaigner and what she had been doing to really push this inclusive public toilet into her municipality. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It is great and pleasure to be part of this conference, and it is big, important and sensitive issue for all and need to comment from all of us. We have in Lalitpur Metropolitan City policy and act. In our metropolitan city, we make altogether 11 smart public toilets in our city and target to make altogether 30 smart toilets, public toilets. And our toilets are gender and disabled friendly. After visit Dhaka seminar, my mayors is change our public toilet design also, and we joined the bathing center also in the public toilet. I think awareness program about cleanness and sanitation also need, and we are already continue this awareness program. Untreated water dumped in the river, the main problem by the main cities in the Lalitpur city also suffer from this problem, and we are making 3 treatment plant in Lalitpur Metropolitan City for clean the rivers also. Regulation and maintenance part, it is also challenging for everyone, but Lalitpur Metropolitan City is with partner with private sector, and maintenance and regulation part is maintained themselves also. So the maintenance and regulation is well known in Lalitpur metropolitan city. So I think in this group discussion, all participants, all our delegates are very good offer our thank you so much for this being this part, and I think it's very knowledgeable session for us, and I request all of you to visit Nepal and Lalitpur metropolitan city also. Thank you so much, and I close. Okay, I want to close this session also. Thank you. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, ma'am. But the show is not over yet. So maybe I would request Sushrina for to felicitate our panelists for their valuable views to the Nepal corner here.
So first of all, thank you everyone for joining this session. To hand over our token of appreciation from WaterAid Nepal, I would like to call upon our country director Sudarshan Neupane on stage, please.
And this also represents a very typical Nepali handicraft, so this is for everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe we will
Yeah, start with her.
Junaid ji, I'm sure you've been to Nepal multiple times, but this is an opportunity for us. Congratulations. Let's shake the hand. It's okay. Purna ji, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, she has a ton of those bags and everything already given, so we don't want to feel her close it with that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
A huge thank you to our esteemed panelists for sharing their experience, expertise, and insight. And special thanks to our moderator, Ms. Sudha Shrestha, for skillfully guiding us through this conversation. And of course, a heartfelt thank you to all of you. But as a token of appreciation, we have placed a small bookmarks on your table. Bookmarks on the table. We just want the conversation to be going, because action is what drives the real change. So we just want to see more actions happening, and this is just a small reminder to keep it with you. Let's keep working for toilets, and that include everyone. With that, we conclude our plenary session. Thank you all for joining us, and let's continue to talk toilet.